So this morning you saw some property boundaries. Now those boundaries would not be able to be found or surveyed if we didn't have these kind of maps to start with. And these maps date back a long way. Lloyd, we've got one in particular here that I think's dated, it says 1910. How is this different from what is now the modern map?
Okay, well perhaps if I take a step back a little bit further, this plan is actually a plan of the site that the building we're in is located on. And the property that this building is on is on one of the sections that was originally laid out in 1850 on the Christchurch city map.
Right.
All right. Then in 1910, those sections were surveyed again, and this area on this plan here is the site where we are now. But back in those days, surveyors would prepare the plans using coloured inks and watercolour paints, so they'd come up with a pretty picture.
Yeah, and I can see down here it says that the scale is in chains or links. Can you explain what that means?
Yep, this is before metric days, so all the distances were measured in what's called links, and that's derived from the fact that when surveyors originally were doing surveying in the old days, they did actually use chains to measure distances, and the links in the chain were about 200 millimetres long, 20 centimetres, and that became the length of a link that was used as a term of measurement and before metric times. And that carried right through to 1972 when the metric system came in New Zealand.
Okay, so a really obvious change in our metric measuring system in 1972, but then the maps look quite different as well. Why is that?
Yes, they got more boring. So we weren't allowed to use colours anymore. It had to all be in black ink on a special, almost transparent paper, right? And this was a special paper that was more resilient and wasn't subject to shrinkage, that sort of thing. But and all the distances on here are in metrics, metres, centimetres.
Right, and there's a lot of hand drawing there, very precise, but I mean we've moved on, haven't we? We now use a lot of computer things. How are maps done now?
Okay, well I'll just go over to the computer here, and I'm in a software program called Land Online, which is the New Zealand government's land record system. It's a completely electronic system. So these plans that we've been looking at, they've now been scanned, and now digital copies of them are available in Land Online. So the one that's on the screen at the moment is that first one we looked at, and then later this same site was surveyed in 1975, and that's a scanned image of the plan we just looked at. And then just before this building was built, the site was resurveyed again. And this plan that we're looking at now is all produced electronically. So although it looks a similar image to the one that we just looked at, it's not produced by hand. It's all the information is put into a computer program, and it's produced digitally.
And I guess the beauty of that is that you've now got a record of all the properties that experts can access at any time. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. I'll just have a look at. Okay, so here we are looking at what's called the spatial view in Land Online. So that's the area. The plans that we were just looking at are in this area here. So, but this view is a record of all the property boundaries, all the plans that have ever been done and lodged into the survey system. You can find out, you can look at the titles to the properties. All the property information effectively in New Zealand is contained in this system.
And no doubt that's really useful. So that's a bit of a history of mapping there for you.